Reconciling us or revolution? Solving the economic crisis, budget, jobs, revenues, national security. How the United States can and must prevent global governmental upheavals from affecting us. Number 1, are we prepared? World emergency news headlines. Economic collapse. Stock market meltdown. Dollar free-falling. A plethora of threats and terrorist attacks upon our nation. Ecological crisis. Black rain. Worldwide volcanic eruptions. Air travel and airports shut down globally. Number 2, are we ready? Unprecedented earthquakes, infrastructure collapse, nuclear reactor explosions, chemical and biological fires, disastrous tsunami floods, civil unrest, government upheavals. Number 3, do we know what to do? Droughts, famine, starvation, plagues, bubonic Ebola, pestilence on animal, people, and plants, disease epidemics, pandemics, bird and swine flu, outbreaks of mad cow disease. Listen, now is the time to educate, to give guidance and direction with life-saving information on what to do and how to do it. Many life-changing catastrophes will come more increasingly upon us. Because disastrous calamities fall unexpectedly, we must be prepared. The Watchman program will be a universal vehicle to help the United States and the international community. Education is the key. When sudden societal crisis collapse around us, ignorance makes the disaster worse. An ignorant person, one who lacks required knowledge, is a dangerous person. Regarding the world emergency news headlines on page 2, 90% of the United States fits that danger of reality. The time to be ready is before the crisis. The unbelievable destruction within Japan wasn't a dream or a drill. The time has passed for the government of Japan to prepare for the devastation that took place on March 11, 2011. Just as there's no need to ring the warning bell that is already rung. Yes, Japan will need to prepare for the next disaster, and there most certainly will be one. However, this massive disaster should be a warning to the rest of the world. We're next, and you had better believe it's inevitable. We will experience what our Japanese brethren are going through now. This warning to the world is very sobering. The Japanese people are more prepared for these tectonic earth-moving events more than any nation around the globe. For example, regarding earthquakes, California is more prepared than any state in the Union. Yet California does not come anywhere near the nation of Japan in preparedness. Recently, the 30,000 buildings within the state have been identified as needing earthquake retrofitting. Now, I dare say that if the same type of earthquake rocks this state, even without a tsunami afterwards, 5 to 10 times more people will be missing or presumed dead. Therefore, without serious preparation throughout the rest of the nation, the other 49 states will have a slim and none chance of survival. And just think, many other nations around the world are behind us. Now, it's worth noting, the entire country of Japan is about the size of Montana. The earthquake and tsunami, which rocked a few islands in Japan, would devastate the world. As a nation, we must have a new way of thinking, starting with what I call the 12th commandment, be ye mobile. That's right. Developing mobile facilities, homes, schools, offices, emergency medical units. As our earth moves, we must move with it. Of course, this new industry will have green, gridless facilities, starting with the 10,000 portable centers we're about to build across the nation. And by the way, if you're wondering, the 11th commandment is thou shalt not get away with it. Now, the Almighty's 10 you should already know by heart, written on your heart and living them as a way of life. The warning of how fragile life is and the safeguards which must be put in place to preserve life, we should learn now from Japan. Economically, most of the international community is in meltdown mode. Because of budget cuts, massive unemployment, higher taxes, and receiving less and less government services, riots are breaking out everywhere. Book banner displays, riots in Wisconsin, USA, in the UK, central London, the Philippines, Metro Manila, with major or minor upheavals within society. The common theme around the world is dissatisfaction with governments, federal or local. Of course, regarding protesting government dissatisfaction, the Philippine people have almost got this down as a science. Yes, people power within the Philippines have had their successes. However, because of economic meltdown, which many countries are now experiencing, budgets are failing, revenues are drying up, and droughts on jobs have left families destitute throughout the world. Again, we need a new way of thinking. We must establish a new industry which will supply jobs, build revenues, and fix budgets. Not just in America or Latin America, but the EU, European Union, Japan, APEC, the Asian Pacific Economic Corporation, the AGOA, African American Growth and Opportunity, and yes, the turbulent Middle East. The world must face the life and death challenges set before us. If we foolishly fail to prepare and change the course of current world events, the prophesied biblical wars and rumors of wars will come upon us prematurely, and our lives will be simply washed away economically and ecologically in a tsunami of ignorance. Economically and ecologically, this book is much more about the solution than the problem. Yes, the problems are obvious and enormous. One of the top 10 covetous sins of most nations is wasteful spending. And this folly of us, the United States, goes back for decades. At least the last 6 administrations have not been immune to our blessed national wealth hemorrhaging away. Like massive oil plumes exploding in the Gulf, this same useless waste has taken place in the United States and the international community for almost 40 years, and without worldwide news coverage. Moreover, no one knew how bad it was. Just like the explosion of oil within the Gulf of Mexico, the first estimate was 5,000 barrels a day. However, later, as more wise and truthful estimates were put forth, over 70,000 barrels a day had gushed out with seemingly no end in sight. Yes, in the end, a solution was found. A plan was put in place, and the oil was capped. For now, just as the Gulf was saved from the catastrophic destruction no one has seen this side of creation, we have a plan to save creation as we know it.